Hello ladies and gents, Hagbard Celine here on another beautiful afternoon, and today I'm going to do something different entirely. Something oft-requested by longtime viewers, however many of those remain. I'm going to tell a little story, so pull up a comfy chair or feel free to audio only, as the imagery will be only incidental. Many of you know my legal status, but for those of you that do not, I'm an ex-convict. While this term means many things to many people, including those convicted of any class of felony, to those inside it means only one thing. You're in a state detention center. County jail residents need not apply. While I have made reference to several little stories and incidences, today I will share the one most often requested. Learn Ebonics. Save your life. Well, ladies and gents, the story starts off with 5 people sitting on commissary storage box around a strip bunk playing poker. Considering how I spent my time, most of my stories, besides those told from my teaching job in the GED department, begin with a bunch of schlubs around a bunk playing cards. Well, one of these upstanding gentlemen retrieved from a nearby book his bookmark, which was revealed to be a photograph of his estranged girlfriend and baby mama, although the introduction I was given was just baby mama. So it can be excused that I assumed it was a current, or presumably current, female companion. I said one word. One. I said nice. Now, had this been a current female companion, and or I was also a long-timer and not getting out within months, that would have been well within the unspoken code of behavior. However, it was revealed later the estrangement and the existence of a child unmet. He impregnated her just before getting arrested for a violent offense at 17. So this was a bit of a sore point, and another young man, least of all one soon to be on the streets, expressing appreciation for the aesthetic beauty of his estranged lover, was enough to make me a new and silent enemy. He said nothing at the moment, put the picture away, and we closed out the game in due time. Not 15 minutes after, he approached me in my bunkie in our area, and said a very meaningful phrase. "Strap your boots on." This is, I'm not exaggerating, the equivalent socially of smacking someone in the face with a velvet glove. In prison, in this prison culture in specific, this is a public and open challenge to a duel, a physical contest. Even my bunkmate, an older black gentleman, was startled at the implications. Now, I'd taken my time, I'd made my place, I'd given and I'd taken my licks, and I'd earned the relative respect a short-timer can expect. This was untoward of him, and he had to have known, considering my short-time status and the nearness of my EOS, a challenge was unlikely to be met. So I pulled my strings, called in a favor on the spot, and an odinous gentleman of about 35 who went by the name Moon came by to sort things out. Just a few moments later, having donned his outdoor work boots, the young man returned. Seeing me still wearing slides, he gestured emptily and vaguely to the ground and said, "Strap boots on." Before I could even speak, the old biker Moon said, "He doesn't own any. He works inside, and you know that." Still highly agitated, and now with the mounting, frustrating realization that even if this went his way, there was nothing to be gained here in the eye of the general population, he wavered between pressing the issue and withdrawing. One of the many unspoken understandings is, unless the person's offense against another convict is egregious or the person in question is a sex offender, it's understood that within approximately 3 months of release, these people will avoid all conflict to retain their gained time or good behavior. I had probably 2 months left on my sentence. Suffice it to say, in the long run, Moon managed to extract the reason for his offense, the aforementioned emotional pain he was clearly in, and brought him to the understanding that there was nothing here for him. Now, to the crux of this, the part that always stuck with me. Still highly agitated, having publicly challenged, then withdrawn from the conflict, and appearing emotionally vulnerable in regards to this issue, he pressed for an apology. However, it was in a manner not dissimilar to asking where someone lives using the phrase, "where you stay at." That is, if unfamiliar with the AAVE, it could be confusing. He said, "Next time, don't say nothing about no one's girl, you feel me?" To which I responded with, "Yeah, I hear you." Why I didn't just parrot the man, I'll never know, but this is where I learned the intricacies and depth of the Ebonic tongue. This was an incorrect response, an offense almost to the level of the initial. He leapt on me immediately, without further exchange. We tussled a bit, but due to the limitation of the confined space, let's just say, the joke answer to who won this fight was accurate. The bunk won. They got in all the best licks. Afterwards, sitting opposite one another before a startled Moon and Bunky, who went by simply Fats, panting and bruised, I parsed out what had happened. I hear you, in response to a request for emotional empathy, was a direct insult, a dismissal. In the AAVE, it was the equivalent of saying, that offense you felt was your problem, and I've heard your words, but I dismiss your validity. In retrospect, it was all so obvious, but maybe it's not so crazy that linguists are fascinated with this pidgin English. Also, the man in question was white. You racists. Thanks for listening, and that's it for me today, ladies and gents. If you enjoyed this and you want to hear how I had to deal with MS-13, leave a like to this little monologue. And as usual, stay safe, good luck, and goodbye.